Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for tuning back into another episode of the Game of Cryptos. I hope you guys are all doing well. This video is going to be a little different. We're not going to be necessarily looking over at charts, I'm not doing it off of my MacBook. I just kind of want to do more of a personal video because I know there's a lot of feelings out there in the market right now because at the time of this video, I believe Bitcoin is about $84,000. We're breaking back down again. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are just, really frustrated and just don't know um, what's going to happen with this market. Honestly, I'm going to say I think we're definitely in a bear market. I think we are, the bear market started back on October 6th. That's just my theory. Again, no one is, at the end of the day, no YouTuber, no one knows exactly um, no one knows who's going to be right. Essentially, I could be wrong, but I think at this point in time, especially considering it's Q4 of the post-halving year, usually that's when we top out. And Bitcoin has it's done what it's always done around this time of the year. It tops out, and we have not seen anything that says otherwise. So again, I will stress. I think it's very you want to be careful of listening to the people on X or Twitter or the other YouTubers that are stressing that, hey, the cycle is going to go into 2026. Guys, there's no reason, particularly, there's no evidence that necessarily suggests that. That's just mere speculation. And honestly, I think it's hopium. I think the main reason you're hearing other YouTubers and people on Twitter or X saying that is basically because we didn't have a quote unquote blow off top for altcoins. And to me, that's a pretty lame excuse to claim, oh, well, because altcoins haven't pumped, then therefore we're going to move the goalpost. And instead of topping in October, November, or December of the post-halving year of 2025, we're going to move the goalpost and say, oh, we're going to top in Q1 or Q2 of 2026. A really popular influencer that is talking about this and saying that that's because of the liquidity cycle and the M2 money supply. Raul Paul, who I really do like, obviously I know a lot of you guys know him. He's a big backer of Solana and Sui. I like him. He's a very smart person, but I do believe he is misleading a massive audience the wrong way. I do not think that altcoins are necessarily going to pump, especially, this is what I see. I think, if anything, since we didn't see a blow off top for altcoins, that since like Bitcoin, like it went up, but it didn't like crazy blow off top like a really steep mountain and then like necessarily like a crazy drop. It didn't have that like euphoricness behind it. Because of that, that's what makes me think we might see a smaller, shorter bear market than normal. Typically, for those of you that are new, haven't, trying to catch you up on the history of the markets, typically a year after the Bitcoin top is when we bottom. So again, a year after the Bitcoin top is when we normally bottom. So if Bitcoin topped on October 6th of this year, that means around October of next year is when Bitcoin will hit its lowest point. Now, since we didn't necessarily have that crazy blow off euphoric moment, then there's a potential we won't see those typical 70-80% correction for Bitcoin. Maybe you'll see 50-55% correction. So maybe Bitcoin will go down to the 50s or 60s. I could honestly potentially see a 40K Bitcoin. You never know. You just never know. So arguably, in my mind, if I'm trying to kind of look towards the future and where I see the market, I think October 26th was the top. If anything, we might get a somewhat of a relief rally above I believe it's the 50 simple moving average. So at the time of this video, I believe it's around 100K. That would be the highest I see Bitcoin going this year. And then it would reject again ultimately, and then we definitely would be in the bear market. But I still think bear market is already here, and us being at 84K is not looking good. We do not want to be retesting these really low levels if Bitcoin is supposed to put in a, contend and go up to a new all-time high. It's not looking good. It's getting pretty late in the post-halving year, and that is why I think we are in a bear market. So again, just be very, very careful with who you are listening to. I think it's more dangerous to be bullish here than to be bearish. I think there's more money to lose if you are bullish than there's bearishness. Now, what I mean is, think about it, if you're still fully in altcoins, I would really, really think about, do you still want to stay in those altcoins? Or do you want to put those in? Yes, you're going to take a tax hit, whatever, but you put it in stables, or you put it into Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin won't go down as far as altcoins. Bitcoin goes down 50-55%. Alts will get obliterated and go down 90%, 99%. And then they can go down another 99%. So you want to be if you guys haven't made a decision with your portfolio, this is a time to make a very critical decision. Am I going to continue to hold on to the altcoins that I have in my portfolio and just hope and pray that we have a really good relief rally and Bitcoin puts in all-time highs? Because guys, the only way your altcoins are going to do well, the only way to even get back to like a break even with some of your altcoins, depending on when you're buying, is for Bitcoin to have to pump up to over 100K to attempt to hit all-time highs again. And honestly, you'd be lucky for even like 25% pump on your altcoins. I mean, with that movement, like Bitcoin have to go even higher to start getting, potentially like 1x returns, 2x returns, depending on what altcoins you're buying in their market cap. Like Bitcoin would probably have to hit 150K for you to probably like break even again on some of your altcoins. Again, I'm just kind of, I don't know exactly when you bought and whatnot, but you get my point. Like it's a lot to hope for, and there's nothing in the charts and the sentiment that shows that that's going to happen. So I think it's more reckless to be bullish because there's more money to lose on the table, as opposed to being bears, accepting that we're in a bear market and that Bitcoin is not going to put another all-time high in this year. And if the 4-year cycle plays out, it probably won't see another all-time high until after 2026 into 2027, 2028 is when we might see another new all-time high for Bitcoin. But again, I could be wrong. You never know. So don't even take anything I say as fact, because I'm just speculating, but I'm trying to give you the best honest advice. I don't want to see people round trip. As I'm finishing up this video, I'll tell you, when I got into crypto, it was 2020, 2021. One of the biggest craze, one of the biggest altcoins, one of the biggest meme coins, Dogecoin, I got in at a really good price. I made some really good, I could have made a lot more, but again, I held on. What was, as the market was getting really euphoric, people were like, oh, Dogecoin was like, what, 75 cents? People were saying, oh, it's going to $1. Bitcoin was what, 60K, 69K. People were saying Bitcoin's going to 100K. Well, guess what? Dogecoin didn't go to $1. Bitcoin didn't go to 100K that time. So a lot of people lost a lot of money, because if you were hoping for 100K, you didn't get it. If you were hoping for $1 for Dogecoin, you didn't get it. And this is what happens. And this is where I feel like we are in the market, where you might see your crypto, go down like, instead of getting out at 70 cents at Dogecoin, now it's gone down to 55 cents. Oh, I'll just I'll just wait for it to go back to all-time highs again, then I'll take profit. It doesn't go back up to all-time highs. Now actually it retraces 10 more cents. Now it's down to 40. Now it's down to 30. Oh, I'll wait until it goes up to 50 and then I'll take profit. It doesn't do that. That's where we are at, honestly, I think, in a market. People are hoping for those relief rallies and those bounces and for the altcoins to go up. But inevitably, we are in a bear market. So that means there's going to be a lot more pain to come, unfortunately. So I hope you guys like this video. I get it. I know it's annoying because you're probably hoping to hear some good news, but honestly, just I think it's okay to accept the reality that we are more than likely in a bear market. And I'm going to put those percentages above like 75%. I'm going to say 80%. We are already started the bear market. Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you guys think that we are in a bear market? Or do you still think that Bitcoin is going to put a new all-time high in by the end of this year or in 2026? Let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.